I'm Stan Goldstein with Kates-Boylston. I'm here with George Owens, the president of SoCal Approach. George, along with Chance Parker, the VP of Global Research for SoCal Approach, wrote what we call a white paper titled Uncovering Insights, 3 Simple Ways Customer Insight Beats Conventional Wisdom. That white paper will be available for download through our website. Well, George, tell us about SoCal Approach. When did it start? What was behind you starting it?
Stan, first of all, thank you very much for having us. Thrilled to be here with you and with the viewers of the webcast. SoCal Approach, we founded in 2018. Michael Cooperman and I founded the company, and it followed really what I thought was a fun career at JD Power and Associates. That's where I launched my career originally at JD Power, based here in Los Angeles, and then followed that with the next 11 years with SCI. And so when you think about where I sit today, if you would have told me I'd spend the last 20 plus years in the funeral business, I would have told you I'd be very, very surprised if you talked to me as a 25-year-old on my first day at JD Power. But it's been a fabulous run. And when I came home from Houston to Los Angeles in 2018, we founded SoCal Approach because we wanted to bring our concept of metric-driven marketing to communities, to businesses, to industry. And so that really was the genesis of it. We had thought a lot, Mike and I, about how could we bring a different way of looking at marketing, market research, PR, you name it, to the industry. And what we landed on was what we call our 4D model. Our 4D model is discover, develop, deploy, and determine. And what that allows us to do is we believe we look at marketing and marketing information in a really unique way. So first we learn, we look at that information that might be available, either existing or that we can create. We strategize, we plan, then we execute and we measure. So that was the genesis of putting it together, and we've been thrilled to be a part of the industry now. We just had our 5th anniversary, which was great for us.
And how'd you come up with that name, SoCal Approach?
Well, if you talk to my partner, Mike, this is an ongoing back and forth, but SoCal Approach originally came to being, for those of you that might be listening that fly a lot, the SoCal Approach is the airway that you travel on air routes from east to west. And as I was flying, back from Houston to Los Angeles one day, I just thought of that and I said, that sounds like a great name, right? It talks about who we are and where we're from. But it was especially those Houston to Los Angeles flights that got me thinking about it, because it was a route home and I just liked the feeling of it.
Now, you just mentioned JD Power and SCI. My next question was, how did your background with both of those influence how you work with funeral service and cemeteries?
That's a great question, Stan. You know, at JD Power, I learned the basics, and I learned the functional way that research and measurement and metrics could drive business. The voice of the customer is the mantra of JD Power. JD Power and Associates, now called JD Power. When I got to SCI, I started there because Service Corporation was a client of JD Power, and I actually had the wonderful opportunity of launching their customer engagement program that they still have today. At SCI, I was given a learning laboratory. I was given a fabulous opportunity to take the voice of the customer, to take metrics, to take data and turn it into action. So that's sort of how we married those two things together. But my time at Service Corp, those 11 years, really gave us an opportunity to bring alive those things that I had practiced and learned at JD Power. So it was a great sort of mix. I got to work for 2 fabulous entrepreneurs in my life, Mr. Power himself and Mr. Waltrip, and it was a fabulous way to sort of cut my teeth and then put it to practice.
There you go. And let's talk about this report. Again, it's called Uncovering Insights, 3 Simple Ways Customer Insight Beats Conventional Wisdom. Give us a little preview of it.
Sure, thank you. You know, when we launched SoCal Approach, one of the things we launched very soon after was our flagship product, which we call SoCal CXP. SoCal CXP, which stands for Customer Experience Program, is at its genesis a measurement that is focused on at need, pre-need, and what we call potentially escape shoppers. And one of the things we did is we put the program together with the Foresight companies. We market the program in conjunction with our friends at Foresight, who have been fabulous partners and certainly supportive of us as we launched. And this flagship measurement allows us to help funeral home operators, cemeterians, cremation operators really understand what their families are telling us across these three key areas. First being those folks that had an at-need funeral experience or at-need cemetery experience. Second, SoCal CXP looks at those families that had a pre-need cemetery experience. And then finally, many funeral homes, whether it's a large consolidator or a single 1 or 2 location operator, will have a pre-need program in place and meet with lots of families. Not every one of those families purchases. So we created what we call our buyer recovery program, which is our third survey, to look at and understand what is going on with the behaviors, the time someone had spent with a counselor or an advisor at a funeral home and a cemetery, but hasn't yet purchased. So SoCal CXP was designed to really address and look at each of those 3 areas of the industry.
Okay. And in the report, which I enjoyed reading, and I've seen this myself on social media, that's why I wanted to ask you about it. You wrote, there's a well-known adage in the business world that goes something like, a happy customer tells a friend, but an unhappy customer tells the world. Talk about that, how important that is.
Sure, Stan, great. And I'm thrilled that you picked up on that. So one of the things with SoCal CXP is we talked to over 20,000 customers since we launched the program. So let me paint you a picture. So, and it's true in any industry, the funeral industry, the cemetery industry, but imagine a satisfied customer. All of us have gone through this process where we have researched, purchased, spoken to folks, and then purchased something or interacted with a restaurant or a funeral home. And we had either a good experience or a bad experience. It's only human nature to talk about that experience with others. So imagine having a good experience and what we may do and what we may communicate about that to others. And imagine I've had a bad experience, what that ends up turning into. And one of the things that social media has created is it's created an environment where ratings and reviews are the lifeblood of businesses, big and small, funeral business, cemetery business, restaurants, car dealerships, service providers, ratings and reviews. So what we look at and see how social media is really affecting that, and we're able to assess and analyze that. And SoCal CXP gives us that ability to go and look at that.
Okay, and another part that stood out for me, listen to the people you don't talk to. In that you wrote, escape shoppers, consumers who took the time to meet with you but didn't buy. Maybe they purchase elsewhere, or maybe they have yet to purchase, or maybe they have not yet purchased. Why is that important to listen to them?
Dan, that's a great question. One of the things that we believe, and it's unique to what we do, is it's critical to talk to folks that spent time with us, visited us, spent time with one of our associates and haven't purchased. Because what we believe these folks will provide us is an insight that a customer can't. Whether that customer is satisfied or unsatisfied is one thing, but when we sit down and we talk to someone, understanding the behaviors, attitudes, and feelings of people that haven't purchased, we believe is critical. So we created what we call buyer recovery, which allows us to look at folks that maybe visited a seminar, maybe visited one of our locations, spent time with one of our counselors, spent time with one of our planners, and haven't yet purchased. Some of them may still be in the marketplace. What we're able to do with that data is to assess what's the frequency of communication should we have with them? What should the contact points be? Do we really understand in one demographic versus another what the decision-making looks like? And then for folks that didn't purchase, we can really uncover why. Was there a better offer they found? Was there a better cemetery they selected? Was there a different cemetery they selected? Was there something related to it? So what it allows you to do is it allows us to uncover opportunities and recover the opportunity, because what we can highlight is those folks that are still in the market. So if we can help one of our funeral or cemetery clients understand that of all these folks that haven't purchased yet, you have 20% of them and they look like this that are still in the market and available for you to sell to, that's what it has at its genesis. And that's how Mike and I when we set out to create it, landed on that as a measurement.
I like the word you just used, recover them. It's very interesting, yes, for that. So the report wraps up with, when it comes to effectively gathering customer insights, make sure your customer experience program is looking beyond conventional wisdom. So what is the conventional wisdom that so many have?
Yeah, one of the areas I want to bring us back to is this concept of online reviews and social media. And I think there's a lot of confusion in terms of just how important that might be today. I think there are those operators that are most advanced, whether again it's that independent funeral director in their community, or cemeterian, or one of the larger groups, or one of the consolidators. I think there's a little bit of difference in terms of how folks look at and see social media and the effect of online reviews. Those that accept the fact that they are here to stay and they're a critical part of the business and the communication process between supplier and customer, I think will be much more successful. And one of the things that we believe is that when you control your own message through controlling your image, what's being said about you, your messaging in the marketplace, you can drive better performance. When we are looking at what folks are saying about us and understanding it, we have a real opportunity to paint that picture, and they're not going away. If you look at how we are purchasing today as Americans, as Canadians, what we are doing, it's much different than it was 30 years ago. 20 or 30 years ago, as consumers, we received the majority of our information from the companies themselves through
Right.
commercials, through their marketing. Today, we receive the majority of information about companies we're going to potentially do business with from either our own independent research, or from our neighborhoods, or from our communities online, or from social media. So the opportunity exists for us to build trust and build transparency with consumers by having a really robust social media marketing campaign from the inside out. Just responding is not enough. When we see someone talking about us, just responding isn't enough. Those companies that are really proactive are going to be more successful, we believe, in our view, than those that aren't.
Excellent, excellent. All right, I'm going to ask a couple fun questions, if that's
Great.
okay. I love your website, and I love, what was it, Fun Facts or something like that. So I saw with you, yeah, it says, and I'm a big baseball fan, you've been to 20 Major League Baseball ballparks. So which one is your favorite, and what's on your bucket list? Where do you got to see that you haven't seen yet?
Well, my favorite, of course, is Dodger Stadium. If you're a baseball fan and have been here, it's called Blue Heaven on Earth for a reason. Mike and I have been season ticket holders for a long time. It's actually the first purchase I made when I got back home to Los Angeles, was turning back on my Dodger season tickets. There's nothing like an early evening game when it's 77, 78 degrees and the sun's going down behind Dodger Stadium. One of the ballparks I'm looking to go see is, I haven't been to the new San Francisco Stadium. I'd like to see that. And actually, I haven't been to Jacobs Field. I would love to go to Cleveland and see a game.
Yeah, I've been to those two. I haven't been to much. Yeah, the nice, or what's it, Oracle in San Francisco? That's really cool. There with the McCovey Cove. Okay, let's talk about music now. Yacht rock, and I listen to Sirius XM, and I have that yacht rock station on a lot. So, you have a favorite yacht rock band and a favorite yacht rock song?
I do. Excuse me. Excuse me. I love the genre. I enjoy it, and I think everybody loves, like, Rupert Holmes, the Pina Colada song. But my favorite yacht rock is either the Eagles or Michael McDonald. So if it's Mike McDonald, I'm a fan of, Keep Forgetting, or the Doobie Brothers, What a Fool Believes. Or with the Eagles, I'm always a big fan of I Can't Tell You Why. So those are my two yacht rock songs.
Awesome. All right. And Mike Cooperman, your chief marketing officer, you mentioned, helped me a lot with the questions for you. And I see he sings in an 80s cover band called The Way. So have you seen them play? Are they any good?
He does. Of course, I wouldn't have been a good partner if I wouldn't go to as many shows as I can. He's actually in it with some of our buddies from college. So it's fun to go and see now these 50-year-old men singing 80s songs, but they do a fun job. It's great. And I think when he sings In Excess, those are my favorite. Those are my favorites. And every once in a while, he'll belt out, another 80s classic that I love. But he's got a bunch that he does. It's a lot of fun. It's a fun way to see him in a different way. And I think for him, it's a good way for him to blow off some steam and have a lot of fun. Private Eyes, I think, though, if I have to pick one, it's my partner there singing Hall & Oates' Private Eyes that I think has to be my all-time favorite, Stan. And you'll have to come out and see them play sometime.
I'd like to. I'll have to see if they're on. I saw their Instagram, so I'll have to check it out. So, all right, George, thanks so much. Any final words you have before we wrap it up today?
Thank you so much for having us and allowing us to participate and allowing us to bring SoCal CXP to the viewers. I really appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity. And hopefully everyone will take a look at the white paper, download it. And if they have any questions, I would welcome you to reach out and send us an email, send us a note. We're very easy to find. We'd be happy to talk you through and talk to you about it. But thank you very much for having us.
George, thank you. Hope to meet you someday and see your collection and everything else. Very interesting. And again, that report will be on our website. I'm sure there'll be a link on here, and it's AmericanFuneralDirector.com. So, George, thank you so much, and everyone else, have a great day. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.